Thank you for joining us again. This week we're looking at some of those standout lines from the book of Psalms. Ones that are very familiar to us all, but perhaps there'll be a few this week that are very familiar to me, been very helpful to me over the years. Today is one that I'm sure we all know. And I remember it being up on a banner in a church that I grew up in. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God, from Psalm 46. This is an amazing invitation, isn't it? Being still. Come and be still before the Lord. Know that the Lord is God. Well, being still, for some people, it's a real challenge. We all know those people that constantly flit around. I'm somebody who constantly taps or wiggles my feet, clicks my fingers. For some people, it's a real challenge, isn't it? Noah, my son, is one of those people. Whenever he talks, he's animated and he bounces around the room. You kind of follow him as he tells his story or tells you his idea. And I remember in the first year of school when we particularly had to help him get dressed in his school uniform. He'd travel around the room as you were getting him dressed. He'd be talking about something and you'd find yourself chasing him around the room, putting his trousers on, and then he'd be over there to put his shirt on. You'd have to say to him, stop, just stand still. Actually, being still is quite a problem. We live in a world that is frenetic and busy. Technology means that even in the moments when many of us are not actually doing anything, we are doing something because we pick up a device and scroll through, read the news, play a game, send a message. And I think in the past there were times when people would have had space in their lives for stopping and reflecting, and actually we filled those times. In fact, the other day I caught a bus, a very short journey. I had left my phone behind in the office, and I remember thinking, what am I going to do on this short 10-minute journey? Absolutely crazy. Looking back, growing up, I regularly had 40, 50-minute hour journeys on a bus to school and back each day. And they would have been times, in part, maybe for catching up on some reading, but there would have just been some downtime, some time just to sit and to reflect and just look out the window. We're going to read Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy place where the Most High dwells. God is within her, she will not fall. God will help her at break of day. Nations are in uproar, kingdoms fall. He lifts his voice and the earth melts. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Come and see what the Lord has done, the desolations he has brought on the earth. He makes war cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. He says, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. The invitation to be still and know that I am God is actually in a psalm that is full of energy and movement. The psalmist is reflecting on a time of trouble. He talks of the earth giving way, the mountains falling into the sea, waters roaring, foaming, mountains quaking, nations in uproar, kingdoms falling, the earth melting. It's a very busy, full of kind of activity and quite shocking imagery. In amongst all of this comes this invitation to stop, to cease, to be still. And what are we to reflect on in these moments? Well, of course, we're to reflect on God himself. The psalmist, in this frenetic time when his whole world is shifting and changing around him, he knows that if he stops, if he allows his full focus to rest on the Lord God, then peace can be found in amongst all that's going on. Mountains may fall, kingdoms may fail, the earth itself may melt. But of course, God doesn't change. Focusing on God, tuning our very being, all that we are towards God, even in the most frenetic of circumstances and the craziest of days, will give us peace. It will ground us. It will enable us to see through and beyond the trial and the trouble that we're in. It will, as the psalmist starts the psalm, help us discover that God is our refuge and our strength and ever-present help in times of trouble. Now, of course, being still before God shouldn't just be left for the crazy times. It should be something we do regularly. Maybe for me, next time I catch the bus, I should deliberately leave any devices behind. And maybe we also need to make time for that walk, to go to that particular place where there's a beautiful view, that spot in our garden or in our home where we can stop, be still, away from other distractions, and just look to God. A place where we can stop and cease, be still, and know that we can know God. And there we discover that He is our ever-present help, our refuge, our strength, our hope, and our peace. May God bless us as we find space in our lives just to be still in His presence. Amen.
Majestic